Welcome!
We're so excited you're here.
Yeah, welcome to CRV Online service. It's so good to have you.
It's going to be a great night, everybody.
That's Julia.
That's Mike.
And we are welcoming you for our CRV service. We're going to have so much fun tonight. What's in store?
That's right. Well, first off, if it's your first time joining us
First-timers.
for Online CRV, make sure that you click the link in our description. We want to get you hooked up with a crew leader in a CRV group for after worship, after service. That way you can be in community, even if it's virtual.
Yeah, so just click that link. There'll be some further instructions for you. And also through the service tonight, if you guys just want to blow up the chat, send some emojis. You know, if worship's just gotten you all in the feels,
one of these.
or, you know, in the message time, man, something just spoke to your heart. Yeah, just share it through emojis, share what God's doing. And again, if you just want to give a quick holler to some friends or some CRV leaders, you can do that as well.
Let's put some whoops in the chat.
Yeah. So we're looking to have a great time tonight. We're going to have a time of worship. We're going to be wrapping up our Little by Little series tonight. And then we get into our CRV groups after service right around 7:30 or so.
Yeah,
okay?
We have some awesome leaders. We're going to have an awesome message tonight. And we're so excited that you're joining us.
Yeah. And listen, the fun doesn't just stop at the end of the service, at the end of small groups. We got a lot of things in store for this week. But the fun ain't going to stop tonight.
Nope.
Tonight at 8:24 on Instagram Live.
8:24.
Precisely. We are going to have our after party.
That's right.
We're going to have some fun. We may give away some things. Ooh. People could get hurt
Probably.
For your viewing pleasures.
Last week, lots of people got hurt. But were you not entertained?
Very true. It's okay. Blood was spilled, but we cleaned it up. It's all good.
There was
all right.
No blood.
So 8:24. Make sure you tune in on Instagram Live. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Be tons of fun. Hey, every Thursday at noon, we have CRV Lunch on Zoom.
That's right.
Zoom at noon. That's what
Zoom
we do.
At noon.
Pastor Mike gets on there. He eats food. Do you eat food?
Sometimes. I don't like people looking at me as I eat food, but I do it anyway because it's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. So grab your lunch, get on Zoom. If you're interested in that, you can DM our CRV Insta. Yep. We'll send you the link to get on that with us. But it's a great time.
Yeah, we play some games. We laugh. Some inappropriate things may happen, may not happen, but we just let you come and be surprised and entertained.
If there's any parents watching this, not like overly inappropriate, like appropriately inappropriate, I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Nothing that you kids don't hear or see on TikTok. All right?
That's right.
Also, we have this Sunday, we have a very special thing happening here at Abundant Life Church. We're having our movie night drive-in. So if you guys come in with your family, with your friends, you can come pull in. And we're going to be watching the movie Aladdin. All right? And that's
the live-action one?
The live-action one. All right? The Will Smith one. I liked it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
It's really good. You got to come, bring your boyfriend.
I'll be there.
Yeah, he'll love it. Okay?
Probably. He might cry.
Probably. He cries at all the movies.
That I expose him.
That's okay. It's fine. It's fine. But no, bring your own snacks. It's completely free. You can start pulling in the parking lot at 8:15. The movie will start around 8:45. Once, you know. Now, listen, if the weather is bad, unfortunately, we'll have to cancel that morning. But we'll be able to post that on social media before you guys all come out. But if weather's good, come on out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Pretty exciting. Something else exciting that's happening.
What's that?
If you haven't heard, next week, we're back,
baby!
What? That's right. CRV is in person.
We're gonna keep the online service happening at 7:00 on YouTube,
right.
But we're also gonna be opening up the church for
wide.
one service for all middle school and high school students to come for it. And we're still gonna have worship. We're still gonna have fun. It's not gonna look the same.
No.
Unfortunately, but here's the thing.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's going to be tons of fun. A lot of things are going to be happening that you're going to want to make sure that you come and be a part of. Still have worship, still have message, and still have small groups. And so what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to be tuning in on social media for guidelines and instructions. There'll be some amazing CRV adult leaders that will be here present that will help explain how the night's going to go for you as you show up. And parents, if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, we do ask the guys that things are going to look a little different, so have some patience with us, have some grace with us, and most importantly, please listen to us as we're instructing you how we're going to do the rundown for next week. It is going to look different, but we are going to be together. That's the important thing, and we're going to have a ton of fun.
Yeah, and again, if you don't feel comfortable, or parents, if you don't feel comfortable, again, that's not a problem. Still tune in on YouTube and still have your students tune in for small groups at 7:30 next Wednesday.
That's right.
All right. Now, to hype up next week, we thought it would be fun to introduce some ways to greet each other, even as we're practicing social distancing and being in quarantine.
I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah, so check out this video.
Hi there, you little chicken nuggets. It's me, Carl. What's up? So some of you are finally coming out of lockdown and your lives are starting to go back to normal. Huzzah. How exciting. And that means we're going to be going back to church real soon. And with church comes the old greeting time. But things have changed. We can no longer greet each other the same old way because of germs and stuff like that. And we don't want to risk going back in quarantine again. That was rough. Real rough. Well, have no fear. Us here at Sunday Cool have put together a couple of post-quarantine greetings. And these greetings will not only make your friends feel reunited, but they'll also make them feel safe. And safety is my number 4 priority. Don't ask me about the other 3. Okay, I'll tell you. Number 3, eat more cantaloupes, stay away from antelopes. Number 2, if you have corduroy, wear it. Number 1, if you have AA batteries, keep them in your pocket, because you'll never know when you need a AA battery. Okay, let's watch these greetings. Hey, how's it going? You doing good? You doing good?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, Carl.
Hi, Andy. How's it going? Hey, Andy.
Hey, Carl.
How's it going?
Not bad. Can't complain. Either. Hey, Carl, put it there.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Carl. Chest bump?
Sure.
You okay?
Hello, Andy.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Fine.
All right, good seeing you.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Andy.
What are you doing?
I'm a dinosaur. Ah.
I get that, but like, why?
They're wearing a mask. Oh.
You guys, we just want to take the next couple minutes to worship a God who is great and deserves our praise. You know, when we enter into his presence, we're surrounded by his peace and his love, and we're refreshed and renewed. And so we just want to encourage you guys to listen to these words, to sing them out, to declare them over your life, but just to rest in his presence for this next couple of moments. Will you sing with us?
Your favor waits within the future. My dreams are small compared to yours. Why should I worry about tomorrow when I know that all I gotta do is trust you, Lord? Every little thing's gonna be alright. Every little thing's gonna be just fine. And whether I can see it now, I know you will work it out for good. 'Cause every little thing, everything will be alright. every little thing's gonna be just fine. And whether I can see it now, I know you will work it out for good. 'Cause every little thing, everything will be alright. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Every little thing's gonna be just fine. And whether I can see it now, I know you will work it out for good. 'Cause every little thing, everything will be alright.
God, we thank you that we can trust in you, that you are faithful, Lord, and that everything will be all right. God, we thank you that we are your children, and that because we're your children, we have nothing to fear. We just want to declare this out, that we're no longer slaves to fear. Will you sing with us?
And I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
Come on, declare that out.
And I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
What's up, guys? It's Ryder, and I miss you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm so excited to get to see you guys next week. It's almost May 27th. Just make sure to hold on. We're about to be together. And so today I'm going to continue with the Little by Little series. I'm so excited. And so I want to start off tonight by asking you guys a question. And that's, how many of you guys have ever used like a GPS before to get to a destination, or like Google Maps? One of the two. It's okay if you haven't used either, but just a place like a map to get somewhere. Because I know I have. So for school, I have to, if I'm going to Florida from home, I have to use a map or like some type of Google map, because if I'm just trying to drive there by myself, I'm never going to get to Florida. It's just never going to happen. I'll probably end up more in California than I would in Florida if I was just going off memory. And so I say that because I think a lot of times going into my sermon, like I think a lot of times we as Christians have a GPS to guide us, but we sometimes ignore it because we think we can do it on our own. And so I think a lot of times when we're going into that, we need to realize that God is our hope. So my first point tonight, while getting into the message, is God is our hope. And so I want to continue and go into Joshua 1:9, and that says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And so previously, we've had Julia talk about how we need to take a step by step at a time in order to get to the goal, and how Josiah talked last week about how that God will provide for us in our circumstances. And so now I want to talk about how God is our hope, and that with God, there's always going to be a way. And so in this verse, it's actually a reason why I'm choosing this verse is because it's placed at the beginning of the book, and it shows and it serves as a reminder for us and for Joshua. And it serves as a reminder. And so basically he is going through trying to like navigate the trials that he's going like to reach the promised land with the Israelites, but he has this reminder to always keep him with God and to keep his faith strong. And so we're going into this, and he's trying to navigate life and all this. And so when he's reading this and when God is speaking this to him, I think it serves as a reminder for us that we need to remind ourselves of what God has promised us in our lives. We need to remind ourselves of the things that God has placed for us, the things that God has said, you know what, this is what you need to hope to accomplish. This is what you can do with me. Like, we need to give ourselves reminders, write ourselves some notes even. We need to do things to be able to keep ourselves accountable to what God is telling us to do. And so what I want to lead into after this is going into, if God is our hope it also gives opportunity. And so basically during Joshua, jumping from 1 verses 9 to basically just chapter 6, it talks about how Joshua and the Israelites are going to Jericho, and they have to go and to tear down Jericho. They have to conquer it. And so they're going in, and God tells Joshua that he needs to start marching around. This is the directions, that he needs to march around Jericho, the city, to have the walls fall, because it's a very big wall and they're all intimidated by it. And so they need to march around the walls once for the first 6 days, and then on the 7th day, they have to march around 7 times. The first 6 times are all in silence, and then the 7th time they're having like a rave party kind of thing. So they're just all going wild during the 7th time. And so when they do this, I think a lot of times I want to highlight, especially in Joshua chapter 6, verses 16, that it says, the 7th time around, when the priest sounded the trumpet blast, Joshua commanded the army, shout, for the Lord has given you the city. And so I want to really pause and talk about this, because I think it's very important that we discuss that he's talking about the end. And so normally people would look at this and just say, oh, like, that's cool. They got the city that was promised to them. That's awesome. But I think we have to really realize that Joshua had to march around the city already 6 times prior to this in complete silence. And to me, if I'm having to march around Stephen City, for example, to be able to say, God tells me that everybody would be saved and believe in him, if I have to march around Stephen City, if I have to march around the whole time and just be mute the whole time, I would be pretty discouraged. And I think it goes all the way back to Joshua 1:9, where it says that have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? It says, don't be afraid, don't be discouraged, for the Lord our God is with us wherever we go. And so I think the reason why 16 is important is because it goes back to 1:9, because he finally got to see the outcome that God has promised him. And so through like Joshua's like hope in giving them the city of Jericho, Joshua and the Israelites were obedient, which gave them the opportunity to receive the land that God has promised them. And so I want to kind of talk about more on a practical side, because you could say, oh, that's great. That's great for them. They did awesome. But how does that relate to really me? And how does that really fixate on my life? And how is that good for me? Well, in 1 Peter 1, chapter 1, verses 3 through 7, I want to read it at the ESV version specifically, because it says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. According to his great mercy, he has caused us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead." Verse 4 says, "To an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, unfading, kept in heaven for you." Verse 5 says, "Who by God's power is being guarded through faith for salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time." Verse 6 says, "In this you rejoice, though now for a while, if necessary, you have been grieved by various trials, so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold, that perishes through the tested by fire, may be found result in praise and in glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ." And so now we're not conquering a city like Jericho. We're not marching around doing all that type of stuff. That's not what we're doing. But we also, I think, have a responsibility in the same sense to reach our friends, family, and to be obedient in the things that God has called us to do. And so in this, if we're not being obedient to the things that God's called us to do, we're not going to be accomplishing the hopes and dreams that God has given us. And so if you don't understand anything from what I'm going to say tonight, please just understand that when God is with us, there is always a way to complete the task that God has us called for. And so what all of this stuff is going on? Like, how can we remind ourselves of what God has promised us and what God's hope is for us? And I think it starts with just being able to speak life over ourselves, but more than just ourselves, but the situation at hand, more than just the trials that we're going through, and we can be down in the dumps. But instead, I think if we start to speak life over ourselves, if we start to speak purpose in our lives and remind ourselves of the things that God has promised us, that it will give us hope for ourselves. So I think it starts with that. I think it then leads into, you can even write yourself notes to be able to just really focus on and to remind yourself hey, this is what God said to me at this time. I think this is what God is telling me this time. And you just read them and you say, you know what, if God said it then, he's going to stay faithful through it all. And so how then can the hope that God gives us lead to an opportunity to where we can share Christ or go through the trials and be okay during them all? And I want to really point out that, well, hope it is a big part of this whole situation. I think we also need to be very, very impactful and have a lot of attention on the obedience part as well. Because if you don't have hope without obedience, you're not going to get anything done. And so God could be telling us practically to just text a friend. It could be, even though we're, thank God, coming at hopefully the end of all of this corona craziness and all of this stuff, we can text a friend saying, hey, I was just praying about you today. Hope you have a good day. It could be as simple as that. It could be, hey, God loves you. I just wanted to let you know. That's pretty forward, but you could do it. And so just some simple reminders, just telling your friends and your family, hey, I'm here for you. God's here for you. Just keeping that in the forefront of their mind. And so I want to challenge you guys going into your small groups, into your Crave groups, that you should probably just try to write something down that you either feel like God has spoken to you, that you have hope to accomplish in the future, or that you have a situation that you felt like God just spoke to you even during this time. And so I want to first, before we go into our Crave groups, if you don't have a Crave leader and you're new here, you need to go into the description and click the link there. It'll get you connected to one of us. Shout out 9th and 10th grade guys, haha. And so I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And I'll catch you guys next week. See ya.